and Sports Network.
Base hit to center field. The Mets lead 2-1. Here comes Wright. He scores, and the Mets win. The Subway Series pulls into the Bronx tonight. It's been a great series so far. Not great for the Yankees, but certainly a great matchup. Joe Girardi and Terry Collins exchanging some information, and Vernon Wells is just a spectator there, just like you, as it's time for baseball. And Kia presents the Wednesday game of the week. It's the New York Yankees against the New York Mets, live from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Al Leiter and David Cone. I'm Michael Kay. 2 games in Citi Field, 2 heartbreaking 2-1 losses for the Yankees. Mariano Rivera actually blew a save, first one of the year yesterday, as the Mets scored 2 runs in the 9th inning. Yankees try to get on the right track. We'll take a look at tonight's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Jeremy Hefner for the Mets, he's 0-5. David Phelps for the Yankees, 3-2, 3.96. And David, since David Phelps entered the rotation, he has been really, really strong.
Well, yes, he has been strong, and he's got to think right now he can control his own destiny. He's in that rotation, and he's taking advantage of it. And the best part about Phelps is he pitches off that fastball, and he can paint the backdoor cutter when he needs to. But watch out on the line drive back up the box, and that did catch his pitching arm. And you see the frustration for a pitcher that's getting a break to pitch in the rotation, and then he's knocked out of the game.
And Jeremy Hefner, I'll tell you, looking at Phelps and Hefner, similar 4-pitch pitcher. Hefner in 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, and a no decision against Atlanta. Talk about a guy that has to use all of his pitches. I know he's 0-5. Here's a guy much better against right-handers. Joe Girardi's got 7 left-handers in this lineup. Left-handers better off him. Watch for the changeup and sinker. When his sinker's down the zone, he's pretty tough to hit.
Well, he's got a real tough guy to face, and that's Lyle Overbay. You know that Lyle Overbay is second on the Yankees with 29 ribbies? Meredith Maragovitz will come on by and talk about Overbay in just a moment. By Terry Collins, Mets 9 games under 500. Lead off their shortstop, Ruben Tejada. Daniel Murphy at second will bat second. Batting third baseman and the captain, David Wright. Lucas Duda will DH. He'll clean up. Batting fifth and catching, John Buck. Rick Ankiel in center field will bat 6th. Batting 7th, playing right field, Marlon Byrd. Ike Davis at first base bats 8th. Batting 9th and playing left field is Ike Baxter. Kind of a hot, humid day here in New York City, turning into a nice evening. Crowd still filing in to the stadium in the Bronx. Those are the numbers on Phelps. 11 games, 5 of them starts. He's been much better as a starter, 3-2 with a 3.96. We'll give you the scouting report in just a moment. Phelps is ready. Tejada is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is up and in, and we are underway. Been a terrible May for Tejada, hitting 172. And now that average just went up as he lines a single to left field.
In addition to that, Michael, the leadoff for the Mets, 192, second worst in baseball. Let's take a look at the scatter report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Relies on movement. David Phelps is a guy, he's a 4-pitch pitcher, sinking fastball down the zone, very effective. Curveball, slider, changeup, 4-pitch pitcher. Giving more innings, good to see, now that he's taken the place of Ivan Nova. His last start, 7 2/3 innings against Tampa Bay. The previous one, 7 innings. Very strong. Tough under pressure. How about this? His last 3 starts, runners in scoring position, 2 for 17 with a 118 batting average. When he's got to make a pitch, runner second and third, he makes it.
So Tejada leads off first. Here's Daniel Murphy. Murphy has been robbed of 2 extra base hits by Brett Gardner, but he's also gotten big hits in each of the first 2 Met wins. He's having a very good season. Some are talking about him maybe as a National League All-Star. And that game will be played at Citi Field. Murphy hits one deep to right center field. That's going to be trouble. That's in the gap and up against the wall. Gardner fields. He'll fire into Cano. Cano comes home with the throw. Not in time. Tejada scores. It's an RBI double for Murphy, and it's 1-0 Mets.
Well, Murphy getting a curveball from Phelps. You see that ball up in the zone. Ideally, a curveball he went down for as a pitcher. Just splits the upright right center field. Kind of catches a break here. Tejada would have been held up if the ball bounced over the fence. Gardner getting the ball in quickly. You mentioned Michael Murphy, good hitter, 17th double on the year, 24 RBIs now. Just hitting the top of the fence. A quick start for the Mets here, 1-0 already.
Not much scoring in the first two games, both 2-1 Met wins. So Tejada plates the first run. Here's David Wright, and the breaking ball is in there for a strike. Wright got the hit that tied the game in the ninth inning against Mo yesterday, and then moved to second when the throw got away from Stewart. It was charged an error to Gardner, and then he scored the winning run on the Duda hit. That one's fouled out.
Well, without a doubt, their marquee player, star player, just got rewarded a multi-year deal. Leads in almost every offensive category in the history of the Mets. Not only yesterday, Michael, in the first game against Hughes. Tough at bat late in the game, tied the ball game up. Eventual win in the first game of this series over at Citi Field.
The 0-2. Missed outside, 1-2.
And we've seen David Wright burn the Yankees on low fastballs. And talking to Keith Hernandez before the game, said that Wright's one of the best low fastball hitters in the National League. And to counter that, you'd see Phelps try to pound him in and up, try to go up the ladder, but that's not really Phelps' strength. He's more of a two-seamer and running fastball. But the Mariano Rivera pitch last night was down, and the home run also the previous night was down. So you really got to try to elevate on Wright.
He's missing that outside corner, and the count now is full.
Also a very good eye, David Wright. Very good at knowing the strike zone and taking a walk.
And he walked him. So a shaky start for David Phelps. 1 run in. Mets with runners on first and second. Nobody out. Let's check out the defense behind David Phelps. And the outfield, you've got Ichiro in left tonight. Gardner in center and Bosch over in right. Infield, it's Nix at third. Brignac, who played a good shortstop yesterday, he's at short. Cano at second. Overbay at first. The veteran Chris Stewart behind the plate. And David Phelps on the mound. There's Lucas Duda, who had the game winner yesterday. Mo shattered his bat, he said, into 15 pieces, but it made the outfield, and that was the end of the game. Mo, for only the third time in his career, did not record an out in an appearance. And a strike.
But it happened so quickly. What, you had 9 pitches?
That's the thing about Mariano Rivera. You know, the game's over quickly, one way or another. He doesn't walk guys. You know, you don't see a lot of drama in the ninth inning, one way or the other.
Well, the Phelps command not quite there early as the count now 1-1.
That's a pitch right there. Now you see here Phelps is upset about this call right here by Bill Welke. Take a look here. This is a comeback fastball. That ball comes back onto the plate. Well, this would be a great view right here. See a little movement by Chris Stewart. The call was right. Missed it by an inch or two. But that's a pitch that he's got to have, especially against the left-handers. You got right-handed pitcher. Breaking balls coming in. He's got to change up. Doesn't use it as often as his curveball slider. Rothschild, the pitching coach, looking on.
He gets the call there. And the count now 1-2 on Duda.
You know, we saw this last night with Kuroda, and he settled down, had a little trouble in the first inning, 22 pitches. Was able to get out of it without giving up a run.
Swing and a miss, got him. First out of the game. Duda goes down on strikes.
Well, Phelps has got the ability to miss bats. And that's a really good pitch to a left-handed batter to finish him off. Tight little back leg slider. As you see, Duda commits, reads fastball, and way out in front of that slider. So even though Phelps doesn't have 95-mile-an-hour fastball type stuff, he has strikeout type stuff.
John Buck fouls away. His last start, he went 7 2/3 innings, Phelps did. And it was the longest outing for any major league pitcher this season in a game in which he did not induce one swing and a miss. That's amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
So he gets one with Duda. Overthrows that pitch 1-1. You ever remember a game that you started that you didn't get one swing and miss? Either of you guys?
I can't remember that. I know games I didn't strike anybody out.
Punch to right field. It's a base hit for Buck. Murphy rounds third. He's coming home. Here's the throw from Bosch. It's not in time. RBI single for John Buck, and it is 2-0 Mets.
Right now, Larry Rothschild coming out to settle David Phelps down. This is a fastball up in the zone. David mentioned he's a sinker ball guy. This is a guy that has to live in this area. Up, out over the plate. John Buck struggling, leads the team, the Mets in RBIs and home runs. Just stayed with it. It was just elevated enough for John Buck to be able to punch it to right field. You know, early in the game, a guy like David Phelps relying on, as David just said, movement, changing speeds. Sometimes, you know, early troubles, you start overthrowing, you get less movement, especially on the fastball. I don't know how you felt about that, David. When you start muscling up on a fastball, that fastball was more of a true straight fastball. You know, and you throw a 95 or better, you can get away with that. 91, not so much.
Here's Rick Ankiel. And a breaking ball strike. You see that so many times when a guy's struggling, they call a breaking ball to just slow everything down. Kind of straighten out his mechanics. See that a lot after a pitching coach visit. The 0-1. 1-1.
Well, often, Michael, a pitching coach that comes out, usually it's a command issue or you've been walking guys. I always thought that very same thing that you said. What's a hitter going to think? A pitching coach struggling, command, get ahead, pound the zone. Of course they look fastball.
Count 1-2. Two and two.
Now, Keel better with the Mets, was let go by Houston, but wow, he struggled down there in Houston. 194. 35 strikeouts Ricky Keel had, 62 at bats.
Two. He's all over the place with that fastball. Count 3-2.
Yeah, and it's just rushing. You know, you hear that a lot from pitching coaches, but if you watch David Phelps, it's almost like he's not picking up the target. He's checking the runner at second base, and he's not really taking his time to pick up the target, almost starting his delivery towards home without getting his head fully turned around and looking at where he's throwing.
And he walks in Keel to load the bases. Still just one out here in the first. Well, as Larry Rothschild goes to the phone, we go to the weather. The Game Time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. Told you it was kind of hot and humid. 78 degrees, so it's cooled down a bit. 56% humidity. Wind 10 miles per hour. It's partly cloudy, and it is indeed warm.
Well, for the very guy that David Phelps replaced, Yvonne Nova back, I imagine he'd be the long guy, first guy to shoot.
There's Marlon Byrd with the bases loaded. Count 1-0. Well, I think they need a reliever who's going to hurry up.
Yeah, that's a good point,
and warm up, and then maybe they would go to Nova in the second inning, because you don't want to let this get out of hand. I don't think that's Nova out there right now.
No, it's not.
It's Claiborne, the 1-0. Dribbled slowly, third base side with foul. Preston Claiborne's done a really good job for the Yanks. And right now, they're almost using him as a short reliever if they bring him in. Get out of this jam, and that gives Nova more time to warm up. The ratio not good. 50-50, 24 pitches. One. Grounded to third. Everybody is safe. Knicks could not get a handle. It's 3-0 Mets. He was thinking double play before the ball was in his glove.
Yeah, the normally sure-handed Knicks. He's been so solid all year. This is the strength of his game. And Michael's exactly right. He just got a little ahead of himself, and then he needed a fork to stick it in and pick up the ball. And you could see just a little quick ahead of himself. Almost got bare hand before glove.
And you said it, David. I mean, he's been so good. Short-handed, smooth, making the plays that he should make. Very uncharacteristic of Jason.
All right, here's Ike Davis. Bases loaded. Foul back. Now, Knicks gets an E5, but Marlon Byrd does get an RBI because you obviously cannot assume the double play. So it's 3-0 Mets, still one out. Every time you look up, Ike Davis is down in the count 0-2.
It finds you, Michael. The guys that are struggling, and Ike Davis, boys, he's struggling. The 152 batting average. Striking out a ton.
Well, you're right, Michael. After an 0-2 count this year, Ike Davis is 1 for 29 with 20 strikeouts.
One and two. And with runners in scoring position, 1 for 14 and 1 for 27 since April 20th. You can almost spend a day giving those stats on Ike Davis. He has struggled so much. And the Mets, actually, there's some talk that they kept him up to aim for right field in this game, that this ballpark could get him out of a slump. And there's more talk that he could be sent down before tomorrow's game if he struggles tonight. That's how tenuous his hold is. Count 2-2.
Well, it can't be good on your psyche, obviously. I mean, if every bat Terry Collins had brought him in, along with Ruben Tejada, but knowing that every single at bat could be a trip to AAA.
2-2. 3-2, and Phelps just really all over the place, and he's thrown 30 pitches here.
It's easy to give the advice to a young pitcher to slow down, relax, stay back. Much harder to do it when you're in the middle of a Murphy's Law inning going on right here.
3-2. Line drive, a base hit for Ike Davis. 1 run scores. Here comes Ankiel. He'll score. A 2-run single for Davis. It's 5-0 Mets. So Ike Davis slumping so terribly knocks David Phelps out of the game. A nightmarish appearance for David Phelps, who has been strong as a starter, but not tonight, and certainly not helped by the Knicks' error. Still just 1 out. Yankees go to the bullpen. They're down by 5. It's the third of an inning. He's allowed 5 runs. 2 runners on base, his responsibility. They turn it over to the youngster Preston Claiborne, and his numbers speak for themselves. Here's Mike Baxter as the Mets have batted around, and the first pitch is outside. Chop foul.
It was certainly a stunning start to this game. As you see, Ike Davis struggling, gets a 3-2 fastball that's flat and up out over the plate, and just gets it by the shortstop. Hits it well. You can almost hear the exhale back in Queens. Long overdue hit.
1-1. 2-1.
You have to wonder, with David Phelps. I know he was hit on the forearm his last game. They wouldn't run him out there, Al, if he didn't say he felt all right. But very uncharacteristically wild from David Phelps. His strength is usually going right after hitters with his fastball. But tonight just could not navigate any of his pitches.
Well, I think more than anything else, David, and you're right, his command on all of his pitches, but just elevated. When he is right, he's down in the zone. He's got that late break, sinking hard fastball, 91-ish. I can't imagine that if there was something wrong that possibly could have prohibited him from throwing a baseball, why he'd be out there. There is a level of I'm fine. You get treatment in between starts, so maybe with the soreness, just dealing with it. But on the side day, which would be 2 days after his last start, you get work in, and pitching coach Larry Rothschild would also see if he liked what he saw, thought it was effective.
(3-2) to Baxter. Right back to Claiborne. Fires the second one on to first. Not in time. Baxter beat it out.
Well, it looked like it ran up Preston's arm a little bit. Didn't handle it right away. If he did, he had a perfect transfer to Brignac. Watch here, just that little fumble off to the side. Now he throws a nice little transfer. Brignac. Baxter just too fast. Bang, bang. Watch here. What's it? Kind of just gets the ball, boom, quick. Got a nice little turnaround. The speed of Baxter beating it out. Let's see if he's safe. Yes, good call.
Adrian Johnson.
You got Tejada here with his second at bat in the first inning, and he got it all started with a base hit to lead off this game.
Now, the 1/3 of an inning for Phelps was the shortest outing by a Yankee starter who was not hurt since a guy named Alex Grayman on July 19, 2004 against the Den Devil Rays. So 9 years. Phil Hughes had a 2/3 of an inning start this year.
A lot of talk about the Mets making a move with Ike Davis. There's talk about making a move at shortstop too with this guy, Tejada. When you look down to AAA with the Mets, they've got Omar Quintanilla, who's hitting .328 playing shortstop at AAA, and a first baseman named Josh Satin, who's hitting .303. So the Mets need look no further than AAA to fill those two spots if they wanted to make a move. But What a nice first inning for Tejada to get us started with a hit. And, of course, Ike Davis's big hit there that's been long overdue.
Five runs on 4 hits, 1 error for the Yanks. First and third. 10 batters have come to the plate for the Mets in the top of the first inning. An inauspicious beginning for the Yanks, particularly David Phelps. High fly ball. Left center. Ichiro makes the play, and the inning is finally over. The Mets just kept hitting the baseball against David Phelps. At the end, it was 5 runs on 4 hits, 1 big error, and 2 runners left. Mets 5, and the Yankees coming to bat. Yankees have a 5-run deficit that they have to deal with, and here's the starting lineup that's going to have to deal with it, presented by Lexus. The center fielder, Brett Gardner, leads off, batting second, playing second, Robinson Cano. Travis Hafner will DH, he'll hit third, cleaning up first baseman Lyle Overbay. Brennan Bosch in right field will bat fifth, batting sixth, playing left field Ichiro Suzuki. Jason Nix at third base will bat seventh. The number 8 hitter is the shortstop Reed Brignac. And Chris Stewart will catch, and he's going to bat ninth.
The 27-year-old right-hander Jeremy Hefner is a 5th-round draft pick by the San Diego Padres. Claimed off waivers. Here he is with the Mets. See the high ERA, has yet to win a ball game. Let's take a look at the scouter report. Brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Get him early. How about this? His 22-game start, he's got an ERA of 9 in the first inning. This year alone, it's 11. Very high. Right-handed batters versus left-handed batters. There's 7 lefties in this lineup. Left-handed batters 338, right-handers 171. He's got good slider, curveball combination, good changeup. Lefties have hit him. And then 0-9 in his starts. And I said he was 0-5 in his record. The Mets are 0-9 in his starts.
And the 1-0. Now Phelps, the 5 runs, 4 of them are earned. Some bookkeeping because of the error by the third baseman Nix. Gardner shows bunt, takes a strike. 1-2.
A first-round knockout for Phelps. You know, he needed a break to get out of that inning. He threw 31 pitches. Like a boxer on the ropes. Just couldn't be saved.
Fly ball shallow left. Baxter coming on. He makes the play. Let's check out the Mets defense. You've got Baxter in left and Keel in center and Bird over in right. Infield right, Tejada, Murphy and Davis third to first. Buck behind the plate and Hefner on the mound. Now, David Phelps did not throw a normal side. They called what he did a light side during the week. He threw all of his pitches with no issues, but still said there was some bruising where he got hit, and he did not believe it was going to affect him, and he has been wearing a compression wrap since getting hit. So you decide what you want to decide. And you know, Alan was talking during the break. You're on the mound. You're on the mound. You think you're good enough to pitch?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know too many guys that have, would pull themselves out or say I'm not ready unless you knew absolutely you would hurt your team. And I just think he was just up, David. I don't know whether that actually had some effect because of the being hit on the forearm.
It's obviously speculation on our part, but the first thing to go with a pitcher is location with any sort of an injury. So even though you feel no pain, you think you're fine, you're out there, and I know I've been on the mound and say, okay, I don't have any pain in my shoulder, I'm okay. I was kind of worried if I was going to be okay, but your location's off. And that's usually the first thing to go is your control, and then the pain sets in.
The 2-1. Cano fouls it off, 2-2. Well, this is what we're talking about with Phelps. Comebacker by Ben Zobrist. It knocked him out of the game. But x-rays were negative. There were no breaks. He was very angry. Probably more angry now. Hefner deals the 2-2. Hefner, 93 miles an hour, fouled back. Yankees baseball available in Spanish by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Infinity. Two. Cano is not on of late, hitting just 250 over his last 28 at bats. That's not him. His average has dipped to 289, and occasionally he'll get into these slides when he expands the strike zone. He's really the only one who could get himself out. He can hit any pitch, and sometimes that works to his detriment. He can put any pitch in play, and he has to be a little bit more selective. When he goes into a slump, that's what's happening.
Yeah, and also, too, Michael, when I think of Robinson Cano, there's no doubt about it. Mistake, off speed on the inside part of the plate. Steve Donahue tending to Bill Welke, the home plate umpire, is when he goes to left field. I think that's when Robinson gets back into his swing. Let's see what happens to the umpire. Oh, it's his hand. There behind John Buck. He's holding his back. Boy, you'd think it would be safe, huh, David? He's got his hand on John Buck's back and still gets hit.
Just a little bit of exposure as the pitch comes.
Look at that, really. He's got his glove, his arm, and his back, and he gets hit. Jeez, I think he's all right. Long-time umpire Bill Welke, his brother Tim Welke, also an umpire.
Cano wins that battle and dunks a single left field. Broken bat single.
Yeah, obviously not driven, but when he's right and he drives the ball to the left, he's staying on it. He's got coverage. Can hit the ball left field and certainly can pull it.
So John Buck, he knows where his bread is buttered. He wants to give a high five to Welke. And Welke says, I'm not hitting you with that hand. What, are you out of your mind?
Left him hanging.
Ooh. The look. The glare.
Here's Travis Hafner against Hefner. And there's a strike.
So on the other end of the spectrum, if you're sitting in the Yankee dugout right here and you know Hefner had to wait a half hour almost to pitch this bottom of the first, you've got to strike back. You got to find a way to answer. Let the Mets know you're going to get right back in this game as soon as possible.
Well, especially too, 22 career starts. He's got an ERA of 9. This year, 11 earned runs, or 11 ERA in the first inning. And you see it often with pitchers struggle early on, and when you got a guy like Hefner, it's a nice fastball. It's not overpowering in the sense of that 95 to 100. Good curve slider and the change. Relies on movement, keeping the ball down the zone.
One and two. No binoculars needed because you've got our camera working for you as we give you the view from right field. Shift is on with 3 infielders on the right side. Only David Wright on the left side. It's been a struggle for Travis Hafner this month. He had such a great April, then His shoulder started barking, got a cortisone shot, and this month, the month of May, hitting just 190. Didn't get the start either of the 2 games at Citi Field. No designated hitter in the National League Park. He had 318 in April, so a big drop. Wow, what a late strike call by Bill Welke, and he punches out Travis Hafner.
Well, from the looks of the shot we just showed in center field, it looked like a strike. I don't know. I guess maybe he just. Let's see the delay of Bill Welke, the home plate umpire.
Well, it looks like a strike 2 call. That's not a ring up. As you see, that's the kind of call you get on a strike 2. Oh. It was really 2-2, and I think the scoreboard, we're being told, was reading 2-1. You see the quizzical look on Joe Girardi's face because that's not a typical strikeout call. So maybe Welke forgot to count himself back there after being drilled in the hand.
Here's Lyle Overbay. And there's a strike.
Yeah, every umpire's got their own distinct punch-out call, including Leslie Nielsen in the Naked Gun movie.
He had a few, I think.
Count 1-2.
Wow, now that ball looked better than Travis Hafner's. Backdoor again, John Buck, the catcher. Now you see that little pullback? Once the catcher's mitt, and then he pulls it back a couple inches.
High pop-up. And Buck gives it a look, but runs out of room.
Sort of a John Buck, Carlos Beltran connection from back when Carlos Beltran was a center fielder for the Royals. John Buck was the guy the Royals picked when they traded Carlos Beltran to Houston. John Buck was a great prospect coming up as a catcher. Had an okay career with the Royals, but didn't pan out to be sort of that frontline catcher they thought he was going to be, and he bounced around a little bit and finds himself here with the Mets via Carlos Beltran a long time ago. Back when the Royals had, it's sort of the small market situation going on, and they had Johnny Damon in their outfield and Carlos Beltran in their outfield, and they had to make some choices when they traded those guys, and John Buck was their first choice.
Grounded right back to Hefner. And that will do it as the Yankees don't score in the first. No runs a hit. 1 man left on base. We go to the second. It's 5.
To making their way back to the Bronx, and that brings us to tonight's injury update, brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center. Inspired Medicine. Mark Teixeira and Kevin Youkilis both made a rehab start in Trenton this morning. Similar day, 7 innings in the field, got 3 at-bats. Were 0 for 2 with the walk. Perhaps the most important part about the day was the fact that they both came through it pain-free. So the plan moving forward, according to General Manager Brian Cashman, is they'll both play again tomorrow, and if there are no setbacks, no pain in the wrist for Teixeira, no issues with the back for Kevin Youkilis, they expect to activate him Friday night against the Red Sox. And guys, you talked a little bit about this offense and how it's struggled lately. Over the 3-game losing streak, outscored 12-5. You have to believe with Boston coming to town, knowing they're starting 2 lefties in Lester and DeBront, they'll be happy to get 2 right-handed options back in Youkilis and Teixeira.
Thank you, Meredith. Just in time that they had to start getting some reinforcements. The regulars back in the lineup, and that would be their corner infielders and 2 big hitters. And as you mentioned, the Red Sox have listed 2 of their 3 starters, Lester and DeBront, and Sunday still up in the air. They thought Buchholz might be able to go, but that's doubtful. Murphy with a fly ball to shallow center, coming on as Gardner. one away. Derek Jeter playing catch in front of the Yankee dugout today, but not close. Not close, and they're hoping sometime after the All-Star break.
I wouldn't bet against that guy.
Yep.
But you just don't know, because you got to let that fracture heal in his ankle, and the only way to do that is to do nothing. Leave it alone for a while. Make sure it's healed this time.
I mean, there's no timetable. I mean, they're saying after the All-Star break.
After the All-Star break, but no definitive timetable. Same thing with A-Rod. Andy Pettitte looks, if everything goes well, that he will come back and pitch in the Cleveland series, which is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoon here at the stadium.
This is an important homestand for the Yankees before they head out west and go on that West Coast swing. But the Red Sox coming in after the Mets here, and then Cleveland.
Two 2-1. 3-1.
I think a lot of people feel that now's the time for some of the reinforcements to come back for the Yankees. You know, it's been an incredible story early in the season, all the new players, but at this point, reinforcements are probably needed.
Well, the Yankees have their first 3-game losing streak, the last team in baseball to have such a losing streak, and they're 9 games over 500. And I think that if you ask people, without quoting them, with all the injuries the Yankees had, as Wright goes down swinging, what would you sign up for when Teixeira and somebody else gets back? Because it was supposed to be Teixeira and Granderson about the same time, and then Youkilis ended up getting hurt. I think most people would say, we'll take 500 and be within striking distance. Well, they're 9 games over. Now, you don't know what they're going to be on Friday when those guys come back, but they've done better than people thought they were going to be. The Red Sox, a game ahead. The Orioles, 3.5. Rays, 4. Blue Jays, 9.5. So everyone expected the East to be tight, and that's exactly what it's going to be.
There's not a question about that, Michael. You're exactly right. I think the MASH unit put the list up there, future Hall of Famers and All-Stars, Gold Glovers, to think just that. Hey, if we can hold our own and play 500 baseball, that'd be pretty good. Well, here they are, 9 games over 500. Exceeded expectation.
And by doing a little losing now, not that you want it this way, but if you want a silver lining with this little losing streak, as Duda hits one deep to right field. Bosch is there. He'll make the play. The players will come back now and not feel, well, we've got to keep this going. They come back almost as if they're part of the cavalry. We'll see how it works out. Yankee fans and some older Yankee fans not thrilled with this game so far. It's 5-0 Mets as we go to the bottom of the second. And Brennan Bosch leads off. And he takes low. If you just got home, settling in to watch the game, what happened? David Phelps didn't have it, knocked out after a third of an inning. And Preston Claiborne has come in and restored some order.
Claiborne continues to be impressive. Very aggressive, good fastball, Al, both sides of the plate. Has yet to walk a batter so far this year.
So Bosch getting a rare start today as Vernon Wells takes a seat against the righty Hefner. Adam Warren beginning to throw in the Yankee pen. Grounded foul.
Interesting. Ivan Nova not warming up. You got a starter didn't get out of the first. I get Preston Claiborne getting up quickly as a reliever can do and get through an inning, and then he got a scoreless last inning. I wonder why you don't get your long guy up. I guess Adam Warren is up the depth chart above Ivan Nova.
And rightly so right now. Adam Warren has really pitched well this year. It's been a while since he's had an outing.
Well, but I say that, David, because you look at the Yankee bullpen and you eyeball who would be the long guy. Of course, Ivan Nova, who thinks of himself as a starter.
Grounded up the middle and through for a base hit for Bosch. As strange as this sounds, and as good as Nova has been the past 2 years, last year had a little bit of a drop-off. I think it was 9-0. We might see Nova. 5-0, I think Joe Girardi still thinks they got a chance to win this game.
Especially this early.
Yep. If it gets out of hand, I think you'll see Nova. They're still not sure what he's going to bring to the party.
Wow. Perfect.
And they do still have a chance to win the game. Here's Ichiro Suzuki with a runner on first. Count 1-0.
Just chip away right here. You got the 5-0 deficit. Hefner's mindset as a pitcher, if you get behind, don't walk anybody, put the ball in play. Should get some fastballs to hit here. Don't try to hit a 5-run homer.
Count 2-0.
And by no stretch, 5 runs is not that much, especially here at the stadium.
Two and one.
Hey, just noticing, on that 2-0 count, that David Murphy was the one who's been vocal. He's sort of the one. I mean, Daniel Murphy. Daniel Murphy's the one that sort of yells at the mound, let's go. And we've seen emotion from him the whole series.
Yeah.
The slamming of the bat, the reactions. He's the one who blew up the first inning with that booming double. Kind of got Phelps on the ropes. So he's really become a leader. Yes, I will remember Daniel Murphy.
Grounded to first. Ike Davis stabs. Goes to second, one back to first. Not in time with Hefner covering.
Well, Ichiro's speed just beats this because Davis gets right to it and a good turn. The only thing that stops it is the pitcher can't quite get there, and Ichiro beats Hefner on the foot race.
Get some congratulations for going in hard at second. And also for picking up that hit. Here's Jason Nix. And he's carrying to this at bat the fact that he made an error and extended that first inning for Phelps. And obviously wants to atone for that. Could have been an inning-ending double play and would have ended at 3-0. And Phelps might still be in there.
Tailor-made too, and he's been so solid, making the routine plays smooth. You bet he feels it.
Count 2-0. No, we're talking about the Yankees having a chance in this game. Of course they do, but because they've gotten off to such a good start, we do forget that they don't score a lot of runs. So they played 51 games this year, and only 11 of those games that they scored 6 or more runs. So they're going to have to put together an unlikely offensive outburst for them. They just don't score a lot of runs. They've won on pitching and clutch hitting.
Yeah, there's no doubt it's been pitching driven, with Yankees second in the league at ERA coming into this game, and also the fewest amount of walks allowed. So the Yankee pitching staff just does not beat themselves. And tonight, notwithstanding, obviously with Phelps knocked out in the first.
Although, Michael, we showed the numbers of a guy who's struggling mightily. He got the big hit that break this open even more, 5 runs, and Ike Davis.
Ground ball, base hit for Nix.
Keep the line moving. Jason Nix will sinker down and in, keeps his head on it, drives it through the hole. Battle out, grind out at bats. You could see all of the pitcher's pitches. In Hefner's case, he's got an assortment of 4 pitches. Make him work.
See that line by first base, you might be wondering what that is. Well, that's the remnants from the soccer field for the Man City game against Chelsea that was played last Saturday here at the stadium. And the field kind of ran from left center field to the first base dugout. One 1-0 on Brignac. One more. Suzuki at second, Nix at first. Yankees down 5-0. We're in the bottom of the second. Reed Brignac at the plate. And the 1-1. 2-1. Guy like Hefner hasn't won. Team hasn't won with him on the mound. And you wonder, does that start to creep into his head? Yeah, I know I got a 5-0 lead, but
yeah,
there's still no W.
No, Michael, that's legitimate. I mean, here's a guy you mentioned has yet to pick up a win, and in his starts, the team, and he's also had a relief appearance. They're 0-10 in his appearances.
High fly ball, deep right, going back Bird. He's on the track, he has room, and he makes the play in front of the wall. As Ichiro tags and goes to third. Brignac just missed it.
That is absolutely, and hitters say it often, "Ooh, I just missed it." That's it, I just missed it. Big, high fly ball. Here's that just missed it. The fastball is supposed to be inside. Let's see where it ends. Oh, right down the middle. Look at the uppercut swing here. Oh, this is a nice angle here. Straight down. And it's going to get a bit of a golf swing here, how it just goes straight up. I know right field is forgiving for hitters here, but just a little too high.
Here's Chris Stewart. And a strike.
What a break for Hefner right there with that mistake. Difference between 5-0 or 5-3 in a hurry here in the bottom of the second.
He's not talking to anybody but Jeremy Hefner there.
Wow. Yeah, that's a conversation.
You still do that in the booth, right?
To myself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mumble a lot.
Well, this short porch and right here at Yankee Stadium will get pitchers worried and talking to themselves. Coming into this game, a lot of the Mets personnel were worried about this matchup with Hefner here in this ballpark with that short porch.
2-2
with the righty-lefty splits. I mean, a huge disparity. He goes from third best in the NL batting average against right-handers, 171, and then the fifth worst with the 338 coming into this ball game here against lefties.
Strike three. Stewart down looking. So the Yankee threat goes by the boards. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. We're going to the third. 5-0 Mets. Well, the Yankees go to the bullpen again. This time they bring on Adam Warren. Phelps started, lasted a third of an inning. Preston Claiborne an inning and 2/3 of shutout ball. And now you look at Warren's numbers. This will be his 10th game. He's pitched very well. 1.14 ERA.
Well, here's that long guy that Joe Girardi wanted to match up. You see the 23 innings in the 9 games, so he's good for multiple innings.
Yeah, that's why he's in the game instead of Nova right there.
Buck fouls it away.
And Nova will get his chance again. He's got too much talent. But, you know, as you said, Michael, this game, it's early. You play it straight up. This is not time to find out about people. This is Adam Warren's spot right here, and he's earned it. One of the blessings of all these injuries is that the Yankees have been able to find out about some players that they normally wouldn't have gotten a look at.
2-1. Buck to right field. Bosch back. And he makes the play. Took an extra base hit away from John Buck.
That was a very nice play. That's a hard line drive shot to right field. No hump in that hit right there. Good play. Watch here. Tracks it nicely. One step on the warning track.
I didn't think there was any way he's going to get there. Behind him, he reaches all the way back at the top of the web of the glove. That's on your Yes Mo, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz.
Rick Ankiel fouls it back. So Joe pushed the right button starting Bosch. He got a base hit, made a nice play in right field so far. Ankiel with a ground ball to first. Overbay flips to Warren for the second out. Before the game, this is the 4th year that Live with Kelly and Michael did a nationwide search looking for America's top teacher. And one of the finalists was a local teacher from the William B. Ward Elementary School in New Rochelle. The Yankees are pleased to recognize her at Yankee Stadium tonight. Anne-Marie Rooney and her husband Stephen. Anne-Marie teaches special education to kindergarten kids and first graders at Ward Elementary School and was nominated by one of her student families because of her significant and remarkable effect that Anne-Marie had on their son. And for being one of the finalists, the show is going to build a new playground at Ward Elementary School. And you realize how important teachers are in this world, and sometimes they don't get the recognition. So that's nice that Anne-Marie Rooney got a little love on the field and got to meet Mariano Rivera and some notice around the country on Live with Kelly and Michael. Marlon Byrd hit the ground ball that was booted by Nix. That could have been an inning-ending double play. It wasn't hit that hard. It would have been close at first, but Nix ended up not getting anyone when he booted the ball. And right now that's looming large as we're in the 3rd inning.
Kind of a Murphy's Law inning. A Daniel Murphy's Law inning. He got it.
There you go.
He got it working. But yeah, Nick's so sure-handed. You know.
Bird, fly ball to right. Bosch back. Track. Wall. Leaps it off the top of the wall into the seats for a home run. 6-0 Mets.
Well, watching Bosch just go back, he keeps drifting. Doesn't quite get to the wall. You see that little touch. He wanted to see where he was. If he got to the wall, I believe he gets it. That had enough hang time. It would have been a fantastic play. He gets to a point where he's not quite sure where he is. If he was able to get that touch, and the previous replay, you saw him, he was feeling it right there. See, he never got there. That just kept traveling, going and going. 5th home run, Marlon Byrd. Watch here. He gets to the warning track. He thinks he has a track. Now he's trying to feel for the wall. Oh, so close.
Just lack of experience in this ballpark playing that particular porch over there. Al was all over that. He was kind of reaching for the wall, and he was nowhere near the wall yet. Would have taken a superb play to get there, but the only way to make that play is get to the wall first. Young Jeffrey Mayer right there. He backed off this time.
Count 2-2. Warren deals. Ground ball to second. And that will do it. But the Mets get another run to add to their lead. Marlon Byrd with a home run off the top of the wall in right field. He goes the other way to pick up home run number 5, run number 6 by about an inch.
How about that?
Gardner pops it up behind the plate, and Buck makes the play. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius. Keep the conversation going. I wonder if her Twitter handle is because of you, Alley Girl.
No, because it was me. I said that.
You did it. That's your
It's
handle.
supposed to be Alley Boy.
That was a bag job of a question, in my opinion.
Well, he was insulted yesterday on My 9. You see the Lincoln scoreboard 6-0 Mets because a question about players that play for the Yankees and Mets, and they didn't include Al.
You know, down 6-0 here. Brett Gardner leading off, swinging at the first pitch. You know, of course, you're going to get a hit. You don't say anything, but he's a leadoff guy early in the game. Maybe work the count. Maybe try to bunt. Get on base. You know, obviously, if he hits a bullet on the first pitch and gets a hit, we don't say anything. But
true. No, but you want to work a guy. You're down by 6. Get the pitch count up, etc. We had a couple instances last inning with Ichiro and a 2-0 count. Also, Jason Nix. Nix ended up getting a base hit, so there you go, David.
Yeah, Gardner has been good on the first pitch this year. He's hitting .435, 10 for 23.
Blew it right by Robinson Cano, and it wasn't even that great of a fastball. Well, that's 89 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's something right there. When you know that Robbie's struggling, you see where Buck wants to pitch. That's the beautiful thing. When you go straight upstairs, higher than high, as a pitcher, it's hard to lay off. It's got plate coverage. But you're right, Michael. 89 miles an hour. We saw Robinson Cano fight some tough pitches last night over at Citi Field from Matt Harvey. 98, 97, 98.
And Travis Hafner with a fly ball to left field. Baxter puts it away, and the Yankees go down easily, 1-2-3, and they did it on 5 pitches, down 6-0.
Pitch from Adam Warren. This is on the Yes View. Look at this pitch here. This is higher than high. Pulls his hands in and is able to drive the ball to right field. Look where Chris Stewart is set up. Tough pitch, normally higher than high, especially with the velocity that Adam Warren has. Had enough to get it out of the ballpark here at Yankee Stadium.
Here's Mike Baxter. Mike Baxter's a New York kid. Grew up in Whitestone. Played for the late great Jack Curran at Malloy High School. 6-0 Mets over the Yankees. We told you during the first game that Baxter pretty much secured a spot in Met history with that great catch that saved the no-hitter for Johan Santana. And now he gets hit by Adam Warren. Time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz. Call 1-866-NY-QUITS for free help today. Who's the only player to hit at least 25 home runs in a season for both the Mets and the Yankees?
That's an easy one.
I think you think it's easy, but it might not be. No, you're wrong.
You didn't see what I wrote, did you?
I saw what you wrote. Here's Ruben Tejada. You ever copy of people's papers in school?
No.
Never?
I was a very good student.
How about you, Dave? Oh, all the time. Now, young children out there, that's not the thing to do.
Right. You did not. You smart. You go to Missouri, University of Missouri?
No.
Stanford? Where are we going?
I was going to go to Missouri. Yes, I was.
Tejada fouls it away.
just calculus, the tough ones,
The ones you felt that you really didn't have to be there.
I always made sure I sat behind the smartest kid. And when we took tests, I made sure that I'd nudge him in the back and he'd move his arm a little bit so he could peek through the arm.
He's had full strategy here.
Swing and a miss. Tejada down on strikes.
I'm not proud of that, but, it's the truth. The truth is the truth, Michael, right?
You know what? It's beautiful when you can get it off your chest.
Get this guy's name off my chest. Daniel Murphy's had one heck of a series.
Pitch outside, 1-0. Mets with 5 runs in the first inning, and they lead 6-0 here in the top of the fourth. Count 2-0. Murphy picked up a double in the first inning, gives him 22 extra base hits. And he has the second most extra base hits by a second baseman in the majors this year. Only Robinson Cano has more.
Murphy's one of those guys coming up through the minor leagues. You just knew he was going to hit. The Mets always felt like that was his strength. He could swing the bat, very aggressive. He's always trying to find a position for him to play, and a lot of people didn't think they could pull it off at second base with him, but they have. And he's settled in and now become a leader.
Well, they did. I mean, they moved him to second base because he was a third baseman in the minor leagues. Drafted as a third baseman at the University of Jacksonville. Obviously, with David Wright, they had to find a spot. Didn't think he had the range. He's improved greatly from his range and his ability as a fielder from last couple years. More than serviceable. We talked about it the first 2 games, and I know that the Mets are having a good series, obviously taking the first 2, and here they are up 6-0. But the core players, as the Mets as a franchise moves forward, they got a lot of money coming off the books. Daniel Murphy's one of them. Certainly David Wright. You saw Matt Harvey. Looks like Bobby Parnell is now legitimate as a closer.
Murphy down on strikes. And that'll bring up David Wright. Let's take a look at the Jeep hitter scouting report on Mr. Wright.
Well, talking about the core,
yep.
This guy is the face of the franchise. Captain Clutch, his home run on Monday was the first time the Mets homer to either tie or take the lead against the Yankees in the 7th inning or later since home runs by Richard Hidalgo and Ty Wigginton on July 4th, 2004. The Mets won both 6-5 and won't back down. Remember when he got hit in the head a few years ago and he's really come back? He now has 11 hits against the Yankees that either tied the game or gave the Mets the lead. The next most by a Met is Mike Piazza with 6. So, talk about won't back down, and then time to turn it on. We entered the series kind of cold, 2 for 23. He's now 4 for 7 in this series and is hitting .407 with 5 RBIs over his last 7 games versus the Yankees.
Count 1-1.
Franchise player, deserves it. Just got an 8-year deal. On and off the field is exemplary. Good guy, gets it. Respectful for the game. 6-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glover. This guy is a star player. And a good guy.
Sort of dubbed Captain America in the World Baseball Classic, leading the United States team.
And he said as far as nicknames go, that's pretty good, Captain America. Now, Al, you were on the Mets when he came up.
Yeah.
Did he get it right away? Did he have respect right away? Did it have to be drilled in?
No, Michael. His father, I don't know if he still is, but he's a captain, was or is a captain for the Norfolk Police Department. Just got that regiment of respect, class, always looked up to the older players, allowed older guys to kind of take him under his wing, under their wing, and just genuinely a nice guy and open for, not only just giving information or receiving, but wanting to help.
One of the things the Mets are going to go through is kind of what the Yankees went through, Michael, back in the late 80s, early 90s, was talking free agents into coming to New York. And David Wright's the guy. He wanted to be here, solicited the long-term contract, got it. And believe me, in the offseason, he's making phone calls. If the Mets get back in the game for free agency, which they will, he's the guy that's going to be the seller. He's the guy that will call that free agent and tell them about how nice it is to play in New York and the opportunity.
Soft ground ball up the middle. Brignac does not get Wright, who was hustling down the line. That play was slow in developing. So Wright with an infield single.
Really did. It was a worm burner. Watch this ball just hit the grass and hug the ground. It was slow enough. I think Brignac didn't realize how slow that ball was. I think his angle took him a little bit farther towards center field. And Wright really huffing it down the line faster than a middle of the lineup third baseman here on the Mercedes-Benz Yesmo. You could see that he was safe easily. Good call by Adrian Johnson, the first base umpire.
Yeah, Wright, a much better base runner than given credit for. He runs the bases well. Takes extra bases, steal. He's a threat to steal, too.
He has 11 stolen bases.
Team leader. Only caught once.
Here's Lucas Duda. And there's a strike. Right in on the hands in the count 0-2. Baxter at second, Wright at first. Long fly ball left field. Turning and looking is Ichiro. He's going to have to play it out the base of the wall. Baxter scores. Here comes Wright. He'll score. It's a two-run double for Duda, and it's 8-0 Mets.
It just shows you the strength of Lucas Duda right there. Almost out in front of that pitch. Ichiro playing shallow. Duda kind of lunging at a changeup. All the way to the wall. Duda's a big guy and got a lot of pop in his bat.
I mean, that was the first thing I thought. Changeup. Didn't matter. I know Ichiro was playing a little shallow. That ball hit the base of the wall. You'd have to be fairly deep. The monster pop, the strength that Duda shows. 9 home runs. Now he's got 19 RBI.
He just kind of flicks this ball. As you see, it's a changeup. Maybe Warren wants it in a better spot. Watch him get out on his front foot. He kind of just reach and flick that ball all the way to the wall.
They tried to pick off, nothing doing. Very quiet stadium except for a patch of fans up in the left field upper deck, all wearing orange t-shirts, all standing and cheering. And they can be heard in an otherwise funereal ballpark. The 1-1. 2-1. This is not what the Yankees expected. They lost that last game in Tampa Bay. They were right there to sweep. And then the Mets are playing them for 4 games, and they figure, oh, here's a chance to get fat. And they lose the first 2 at Citi Field. Now get smacked around 8-0 here at Yankee Stadium. Buck fouls it back.
Well, 2 games, Michael, in these tight series. Jonathan Neese pitched a good game the first game against Hughes. It was a pitcher's duel. Snatched the win. The Mets came back in 1 run in the 7th and 8th. And then yesterday's game, Matt Harvey, tough pitcher, 2 runs in the 9th.
Hey, bottom line, let's be honest. It's hard to win games if you don't score runs. You can't really fault them against Matt Harvey, who's shutting everybody down. But Jonathan Neese has struggled. Hefner doesn't even have a win, and he's shutting them down over the first 3. So you got to be able to hit to win games. The 2-2, 3-2, and it's been an issue. And as we said earlier, the reinforcements will be coming. The Yankees are expecting to get Teixeira and Youkilis back on Friday for the beginning of the Red Sox series. And you could put that under the heading of just in time. Swing and a miss. Buck down on strikes, but 2 more runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It is 8-0 Mets. Breaking ball to Overbay is high, and Willie Randolph is at the game, former Yankee captain, owner of 6 World Series rings, 2 as a player, 4 as a coach with the Yanks, and the former manager of the Mets. Things have not gone well for the Mets since they fired Willie Randolph and they made him take a trip to Anaheim, manage 1 game, and then went out and fired him out there, and he had to fly all the way back when they could have done it before that game. But Willie's just relaxing this year. (8-0) Yankees. I said if it was 9-0, maybe they get up Nova, and he's getting up now. And this will be a good opportunity for him. You have to look at it that way. Yep. He's got to show, hey, listen, I'm better than you think, and I'm going to be big for you in high leverage situations.
Well, that's the hardest thing for a young guy like Nova, who's got plenty of talent, but some of his comments when he got called back up saying that I'm really a starter and the bullpen's really not for me. You got to pitch yourself out of the bullpen, or you pitch down in the minor leagues, one or the other. If you weren't getting it done, you were ineffective as a starter, this is your opportunity.
You can see he's got plenty of time to warming up like a starter.
Overbay swings and misses. Well, let's get the answer to the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz question that we gave you. Who's the only player to hit at least 25 home runs in a season for both the Mets and the Yankees? And Al, I think that you thought it was Straw, right?
Yeah, I did. Strawberry.
It was not Straw, so let's see who it was. Robin Ventura.
Batman. 27 home runs with the Yanks.
In '98, Darryl had 24 for the Yankees, so you were almost right.
24 coming off the bench.
Yep.
Limited duty.
Brennan Bosch takes a strike. Robin Ventura in a home run slump hits 1 out, and as he's rounding 3rd and heading home, he says thank you to me. Because I had actually gone up to him before the game. I said, you haven't hit a home run and whatever, and he goes, I'll hit one tonight then. I said, really? He goes, yeah, and when I round 3rd, I'll point up at you and thank you. And that's exactly what he did. That one's driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. A long home run for Brennan Bosch. And the Yankees are on the board. It's 8-1 Mets. So Bosch is 2 for 2.
Well, Bosch back with the Yankees. Looked like a changeup, middle of the plate. Just dropped the barrel of the bat. That's a no-brainer, no-doubter right there. Just turn around and look at it. That's the kind of power that Bosch shows. 3 home runs so far for the Yankees.
Ichiro takes a strike.
Watch here, watch him drop into the barrel, that little down and in zone. Quick bat speed.
When Bosch signed with the Yankees, he thought he was going to be an everyday outfielder, and then shortly thereafter they had an opportunity to get Vernon Wells. That kind of changed the equation. He's become a bench player now. And I actually was sent down to the minor leagues for a while. But you keep producing and they will find spots.
He's still young enough as well.
Mets and Yankee writers crowding the Yankee press box here tonight. And Ichiro dumps one into right center field for a base hit.
Ichiro laid on some fastballs that are running away. Hefner threw a little, just a little breaking ball or something. It was supposed to be on the outside part of the plate. It cuts. It's a backdoor cutter. Just look at how he just leaves his body back, his hips. He's done that so often in his career.
With a fly ball center field, and Keel makes the play for the second out. Let's take a look at the Bosch home run on our great feature Yes View.
Well, this is a tremendous view as you're going to see the 360 come around right here. That's how you hit a homer. Out in front, full extension. A lot of times that changeup, that's what we call speeding up the bat. When you get a changeup and you hang it, the hitter's time for a fastball, and all of a sudden the barrel just is allowed to get that much further out in front. Speed up the bat. Deep, long home run.
Count 1-0. Brignac flirted with a home run in the second inning, driving Bird back to the wall. Count 1-1. Still plenty of time in this game, but the Yankees have to get some big hits. And you're kind of too late for the chip away aspect, a run here, a run there. You had to put some crooked numbers on the board to get back into this.
Well, those add-on runs the last couple innings, Michael, you're right. I mean, five runs. You're a run or two away from a 3-run homer to tie the ball game. 1 run in the third and the 2 last innings. A bit of a backbreaker, but still chip away. You know, you're still not hitting the 5-run homer.
1-2. Strike 3. Brignac down looking. But the Yankees get on the board. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 man left. A home run by Bosch makes it 8-1 Mets. 8-1 Mets, and Keel leads off. And the new pitcher for the Yankees is Ivan Nova.
We saw Bob Lorenz give us those highlights of Zimmerman. Boy, home runs to all fields. 3 straight home runs. Pulled the first one. Second one to dead center, as you see Ivan Nova's numbers on the year, and then went to right field for the 3rd home run. Pretty impressive.
You know, Michael, you're talking about you have to score runs. I mean, if that's a team that needs to score runs, they're second behind the Braves. Offensively, they're bottom in categories, second to worst average.
Kia scoreboard 8-1 Mets. And Keel swings and misses. 1 away. Let's go back to Bob Lorenz. He's got more interesting information. What do you got this time, Bob? Thank you, Bob. And also Diona Navarro, a former Yankee farmhand. And they thought he was going to be pretty good. They used him in a trade with the Dodgers. He's bounced around, and he has a career day for the Cubs. Bird swings and misses, count 0-2. There's a great opportunity for Nova. He's got this next 5 innings in front of him, and he could show Joe Girardi something and force his way back into a significant role. And he is dealing right now. Oh, no. Back to Bob. Did somebody else hit 3 home runs, Bob? Thank you, Bob. You're not. We're going to hear from you later. A lot of stuff going on in the big leagues, a lot of interleague play, and here's Ike Davis. Got out today that Ike Davis and Ruben Tejada were in a closed-door meeting with Terry Collins yesterday. Both of them in danger of being sent down. Collins said, it's closed for a reason. I'm not going to tell you what was said. But whatever was said, maybe it got to Davis. That's his second hit tonight. Two-run single in the first, and now this single with 2 outs. Talking to Ron Darling about these threats of sending down Tejada and Davis. I think it's ridiculous. He said all these meetings, all these discussions. He said they're big boys. If they don't play well, they get sent down. He said, what do you keep having meetings with them for? And I don't think that putting the pressure on him, it's not like he's not trying. So if you're going to tell him, well, if you don't get a hit today, we're going to send you down, that's going to make him a better player. But I think the reason that Davis is sticking is that he got off to a terrible start last year and then finished with 32 and 90. And it's hard to ignore that. He had a really bad start last year, which was covered up by the fact that the Mets played well.
And how about a $3.5 million salary to go put down in Las Vegas for a team that's struggling and probably not going to compete for the NL East? And you got a guy, as you just said, 32 home runs last year.
You think we should be making a decision like that based on what he makes?
No, I'm just saying where the Mets are right now. I mean, there's money on the books that's going to come off between Johan Santana and what they're paying Jason Bay. So payroll matters for this team right now. It's been pretty lean. They really didn't go out and get anybody in the outfield. And there's faith in what they believe that I can do to turn around.
But Al, if they sent him down, they would be replacing him with a minimum wage player. So it's not like that would be cost prohibitive. They got to pay him anyway.
True.
And maybe sending him down straightens him out. But I believe that they think he could straighten himself up here because that's what he did last year. Two.
Well, you send a struggling guy down to help him mentally. I think more than anything else, Ike Davis is a better player than he's shown, 150 batting average or whatever it was coming in today, to let him be clear of that. And the reason why these meetings, because you're answering, Terry Collins is answering to the media. Well, are you going to send him down? I mean, it's repeated ad nauseum, especially here in New York. What are you going to do with him?
Warner goes. 3-2 is grounded foul.
So, again, like most managers, if they have to answer to these questions that I'm sure has been numerous, then you got to circle back and talk to the player that is suggested by the media as to whether you're going to send the guy down or not. This is a different place. I know you guys know it. Dave, you played here a long time. It's a great place when you're winning and doing well. Tough place to hide when you're not.
3-2. And Baxter, the number 9 hitter, walks, moving Davis to second. So 2 quick strikeouts for Nova, then a single to Davis and a walk to Baxter, and that'll bring up Tejada.
Right there, Michael, that's interesting. He comes in, blows away Ankiel on 2 curveballs, and then looks good. Bird, same thing, and then you give up the base hit. Now all of a sudden you got a 2-out walk to the number 9 hitter. You talk about what Joe Girardi and Larry Rothschild are looking closely to Von Nova. not saying it doesn't happen, but that's the type of thing if you're Von Nova, you got Mike Backstrom, attack the zone. You throw 90s, he hit some 97s, 96 mile an hour fastball. Get after it. Command of the fastball. It all starts from there.
David, it's so odd because a couple of years ago, he looked like he was going to be a mainstay in this rotation. He had nasty, filthy stuff, and then last year it kind of went downhill a bit.
Yeah, it's all mental. It's all about mechanics and command because the upside is tremendous with Von Nova. His stuff well above average across the board.
Hit sharply to short. Nice play by Brignac. He gets the force, and that will do it. No runs a hit, and 2 men left on base. We're halfway through. 8-1 Mets. Chris Stewart takes a strike. Kia scoreboard, 8-1 Mets. And the 0-2. Stewart struck out looking. That was in the second inning. Net 5 runs in the first inning, knocking out David Phelps after just 1 out. 2-2.
And on the other side, Hefner still looking for his first win of the season, getting through the 5th here, will officially qualify. Trying to get on the board.
It's weird because Hefner, 3.89 ERA in his last 6 starts, but he can't get a win. Because the Mets have trouble scoring runs, but not tonight. Popped up. Tejada in the outfield makes a nice catch for the first out. Hey, there's a shot of the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar situated in center field. The Mohegan Sun Sports Bar is a great place to gather and enjoy the game. Great place, especially tonight. A little bit of a hot night, so got air conditioning out there. Here's Brett Gardner. He is 0 for 2. And a strike. And the count 1-1. Tonight starts an 8-game homestand for the Yankees. 1 more with the Mets, 3 with the Red Sox, and then 3 with the Indians. And then a West Coast trip, which is never easy. You got Seattle, Oakland, and the Angels. The 2-1, 3-1. What makes the West Coast trip so bad? Is it the flight? Is it as easy as just the flight?
Yeah, the human element of adjusting to the time zones. Generally speaking, it's easier going out, gaining hours in the time zones than it is coming back east after the road trip. You feel like going to L.A., Michael?
Yes. I'll be there.
You're going to make the trip?
Yeah.
When's the last time you've been out west?
I think I was there last year. I was there last year.
Seattle?
No, not Seattle. Fly ball left field. Are you out there with me, David?
Nope, no West Coast trip for me this year either. Usually,
really?
Yeah, usually I make that trip. Yeah, Kenny Singleton and I usually do the Seattle one, the Seattle-Oakland one, your two favorite stops.
You notice we don't even ask Leiter. He does about 15 games.
Wait a minute, time out. I was in Seattle last year, or the year after, before.
There's no timeout, no.
And Anaheim, you and I.
So that was what, 2 years ago?
Last year?
It wasn't last year. Here's Cano. 1-0. Yankees actually have a second West Coast trip where they play Don Mattingly's Dodgers and then the San Diego Padres.
You doing that one?
Yes, I am.
Well, yeah, of course, the sexy cities, right?
No, the
LA.
Mattingly City. If he gets fired, then I might cancel that whole trip. It looks like he's turned it around, though. I mean, it looked like he was on a day-to-day contract, but they're starting to respond to him. Ground ball to first. Davis steps on the bag, and that will do it as the Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3. We're going to the 6th. It's 8. There's Billy Martin. What a manager he was. Daniel Murphy leads off. 1-0. Al, you played for Billy.
Yes.
Were you afraid of him?
Yeah.
Honestly, you are, right? You were
No,
a young
I mean,
kid.
I wasn't afraid like he was going to punch me. I just kind of stayed away.
Fly ball right field.
I mean, you talk about the old school mentality of that, right on the cusp of starting with nutrition and strength coach and all that. It was about at that time when the Yankees, they hired a strength coach from Notre Dame the following year. I think when Lou became manager. And, you know, back then, the strength coach was your trainer. They'd come out and stretch you and try to get you through some weights. And I'll never forget, Billy had a cigar in his mouth in the training room at the old stadium, and I'm doing cuff weights. 5 pounds or 3 pounds. Billy came in, looked at me, said, "What's wrong with your arm?" I said, "Nothing. I'm doing my cuff weights." You want to strengthen your arm, you go out there and long toss. And I used to hide to do my cuff weights. I'll never forget that. It was so impressionable. I was like, really? 3 pounds? 5 pounds?
Yeah, weight rooms were sort of, looked down on. Not only were there no weight rooms back in the 80s around most Major League Baseball parks, it was frowned on. Can't get too bulky, you lose your flexibility. Of course, a whole different ball game now.
Yep.
What are cuff weights, Al? You just like
they're actually
cuff?
Around
like what you do with ankle weights,
yes,
but for the hands.
Yes, and then there's just different series of exercises that you do to strengthen your shoulder, and then some elbow exercises. All part of the what used to be called the Job exercises. Frank Job, the doctor, Tommy John surgery out in L.A.
Ground ball is short. Brignac will get David Wright with the second out.
Well, there probably should be some baseball doctors in the Hall of Fame. Dr. Job, and of course we lost one, Dr. Louis Yoakum.
Yeah,
I believe yesterday, also with had a lot of influence on a lot of young careers. I think Yoakum was more for elbows, more the elbow specialist.
Job was for sure.
Job was more for the shoulders.
Well, Dr. Andrews, you got to put him in there.
Dr. Andrews, without a doubt, in all sports.
Yeah.
Across the board has been amazing. What an amazing career.
Lucas Duda with a ground ball to first. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Ivan Nova as the Mets go down in order. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Yankees are trailing this one 8-1. That all adds up to 8-1 Mets, and the game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 8-0, 1-5-1. Davis, a 2-run single in the first. Duda, 2-run double. Bosch, a solo home run. The Yankees' only run in the game, and David Phelps did not have it today. A third of an inning, 4 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. Travis Hafner swings and fouls it back. There's the shift for Hafner. down 1-1.
You know, two schools of thought when you're down by 7, as the Yankees are, to be patient and wait it out. You saw Hafner swing at the first pitch. The other rule of thumb is, too, for a guy like Jeremy Hafner, try to get ahead. You may get your best fastball down the middle first pitch. If you notice fastball and then curve, and there's a changeup. So it's kind of the quandary of a hitter. You know, do I wait him out? Do I take the pitch? If I go 2-0, especially the guys in the bottom of the order, do I make him throw a strike? It's stuff like that. So, you know, it's a unique situation for both pitcher and hitter.
2-2 from Hefner to Hafner. As the Yankees running out of time to get back in this. Yankees need base runners, and the count now 3-2. Paul Simon. People don't realize that he wrote "You Can Call Me Al" about Al Leiter.
Right.
Line drive, base hit, no shift for that. And that'll go up against the wall. And Travis Hafner said, hey, we're down 7. I'll take the single.
Well, Hafner, you know, he just always seems to get in good counts. Works it to 3-2 after being down 0-2. Buys himself a fastball. Laces it through the shift. You see Hafner at this point in his career, he's never really been very fast, but probably a good move to check up at first. As Al said, down this many runs.
That's going to bring up Overbay. Overbay knows that his time as the Yankee first baseman is drawing to a close. But he really likes it here. He's done a good job for the Yankees. And he actually said, I'll do whatever they want me to do. He said, I'll sit on the bench. He goes, and at this point in my career, I want to win. He said, and I think I would rather sit on the bench and contribute any way I can here than go play every day for a team that has no chance to win. That one is driven out to left center field. Baxter on the run. He is not going to get there, and it bounces into the seats for a double. Might have gotten into the Met bullpen. That's where it bounced. So the Yankees have 2 runners on with nobody out.
Well, Lyle Overbay gets a sinker that's not sinking, middle of the plate, out over, stays on the baseball. That's nice hitting. Watch his head down, the Coors Light freeze cam, and then drives it to left field. His 12th double on the year. Got a little something going here in the bottom of the 6th for the Yankees.
The Yankees have to cash in. Here is Brennan Bosch, who's 2 for 2, and he hits one slowly to short. Travis Hafner really waited, and Bosch beat it out. Hafner scores, moving to third. There's Overbay. The 3rd hit for Bosch because of hustle, and it's 8-2 Mets.
Every hitter, they can smell a hit. Let's take a look here. This is a little jam shot. Slow ball past Hefner. Boy, it looks Tejada. I don't know whether he was just so casual. He had plenty of time. Double pump. Watch here. Bosch gets down the line quickly. He's got a chance to score. Watching Hafner making sure he gets home.
Do you think there was a chance that Tejada looked at home?
Well, he definitely got distracted. First of all, you got to go get that ball. And secondly, he did sort of peek towards home or third.
Yeah, that was it, Michael.
Here's Ichiro. Swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Long run for right. And he can't make the play, and Buck almost tumbles into the Met dugout.
You know, you have to have an awareness. You got to anticipate before the balls hit to you what you're going to do with it. And with this kind of lead, there should be no hesitation at all. He should have come and gotten that and taken the sure out with a big lead. And he played that into an infield single.
That glance toward third base cost him the out. That's how close it was at first.
Indecision comes from not anticipating before the ball's hit to you. Making the decision too late on what to do with the ball.
The 0-1. Popped up. And Murphy makes the catch for the first out. Ichiro is still looking to find his swing. He has not been what he was last year when he came over from Seattle. Still searching as LaTroy Hawkins and Scott Rice are up. That's a big out. You want to keep the line moving when you're trying to come back from a big deficit. Ichiro couldn't get it done. There's Jason Nix with runners on the corners. It's 8-2. Mets lead. Remember, the Met bullpen has struggled, and except for Bobby Parnell, you don't really fear anybody out there. And the pitch count's at 95 right now. Pitch outside. Pitch inside, 2-0. And with the fact that he does not have a win, and the team hasn't won when he's pitched, you know it's got to be creeping into his mind.
Still a lot of time left in this ball game. A lot of at-bats for the Yankees. And this will be the 98th pitch coming from Hefner.
Base hit. Overbay scores. Bosch moves to second. An RBI single for Nix. It's 8-3 Mets. And Dan Warthen will go to the mound.
Yeah, there could be a little bit of that, Michael. There's no doubt the 0-8 record and all the things that you just described. Dan Warthen going to settle him down. Later tonight, tennis superstar Venus Williams sits down for a new GMC Presents Center Stage with Michael Kay. The 7-time Grand Slam champion looks back at her groundbreaking career, including her professional rivalry with her sister, Serena. It's a new center stage tonight after the postgame, only on Yes.
She's a very good guest. We had her sister Serena on about 5-6 years ago, and Venus now, and it's worth a watch. A phenomenal story. Two kids from Compton, California, public courts, and really becoming two of the best tennis players of all time. Here's Brignac. Deep fly to right and a strikeout. First and second, one out. 1-0. Hefner's pitch count high this year was 107. 8-3 Yankees as they're trying to get back in this. Still just the bottom of the sixth. Line drive, right field. Bird makes the play. 2 out. So Brignac hit it right on the screws, but right at Marlon Byrd.
Yeah, ball starting to elevate. A lot of 91-mile-an-hour rolling fastballs. Brignac nailed it. Just right at Bird. Watch this sinker, middle of the plate up. That's a sign of a tiring pitcher.
That'll leave you shaking your head. Brignac just missed a 3-run home run in his first at-bat and absolutely smokes that ball there. He got nothing to show for it. Hefner with a good time to get the atom ball.
Here's Chris Stewart. Swings and misses at the slow breaking ball. Count 1-1. The average is 88 pitches an outing, but he's at 102 tonight.
Most likely his last hitter either way.
High fly ball left field. Baxter will make the play, and that will do it. Yankees get 2 runs, 4 hits, and 2 men left on base. So Jeremy Hefner gets the final out, breathes a deep sigh of relief, and he's going to turn this over to the bullpen. 95, the guy on the left, Derek Jeter, made his major league debut in Seattle, and Meredith Marakovits has more. Meredith?
Michael, a bit of a milestone for this year as well, in the regard that this is the first time that Yankees fans have seen him in uniform doing a little bit of baseball activity since October 13th of last year. If you remember, he had the ankle surgery after the season, worked hard rehabbing that all throughout spring training until he eventually fractured it again and was shut down on March 24th. So as you saw, playing catch earlier today out of the boot, can't do too much more other than that. He did say that he'll have another CT scan within the next week and a half, and he should know more moving forward. But the question is always, when will you be back? What's the time frame? And all Jeter would say is as soon as possible. In fact, he said, last time I put a date on it, it didn't work out too well. So when I can play, I'll be out there on the field, and you'll see me playing yet again.
John Buck with a fly ball to Brennan Bosch. We'll hear from Meredith a little bit later after the game ends. So let's go back to May 29th, 1995. Derek Jeter in the old King Dome in his first big league game. And you might wonder how he did in that game. He was 0 for 5, and I read Jack Curry's story when he was at the New York Times from that day. He went 0 for 5, and after the game, he went and ate at McDonald's.
Oh, how times have changed.
Cadillac scoreboard, 8-3 Mets lead. Now, Derek was not on the postseason roster in 1995, but the Yankees thought it was important to have him hang around and experience what the postseason was. So he was not part of the 25-man, but Buck Showalter wanted him in the dugout just to see what it was all about, the pressure, the noise, and he thought that it would help him because he hoped the Yankees were going to be in the playoffs a lot. I guess it helped him, David.
Well, what a series to watch, too. That 95 playoff series against the Mariners. One of the all-time classics. Drama galore. And he handled himself extremely well. I remember in Game 5 walking off the mound after throwing 147 pitches. And the last one in the dirt to walk in a run. That Derek Jeter was the first one off the bench to shake my hand. Presence of mind for a young kid. He had it the minute he walked up and put on a big league uniform.
Marlon Byrd with a high fly ball and foul, out of play. It's amazing. You hear this all the time. 18 years in an eye blink.
18 years.
18 years in an eye blink. 5 championships, 3,000 plus hits, a short trip to the Hall of Fame. All for a kid from Kalamazoo. Grew up wanting to be a Yankee, and it's turned out okay.
Believe me, we left no stone unturned to try to get something on Derek as a rookie. Try to get on him. You know how you do it with rookies. You test them, and he never did anything wrong. He never left himself open. Handled himself so well, respectful, but not intimidated.
And Chris Stewart makes that play right in front of Derek for the final out of a 1-2-3. So Ivan Nova pitching well. Derek Jeter hoping to get back on that field this year. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. The Mets lead the Yankees 8-3, but we will stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
Remove your cap.
Just give up on him, basically. Comes over to Buck Showalter, and wow, good ballpark to hit him. He's a left-hander.
All right, so Scott Rice, he's in another game. It'll be his 30th, and he is off the charts, going toward 100 appearances this year. But he's done a good job. He waited 14 years for the opportunity to pitch in the big leagues, and he's making the most of it. Too many walks, but The other number's pretty good. So Jeremy Hefner now hoping that the bullpen could close this out on the Cadillac scoreboard. Mets lead 8-3. Rice against Gardner, Cano, and Hafner. 3 lefties in a row, and then Overbay, and then Bosch, and then Ichiro. So 6 lefties in a row, set up beautifully for the left-hander in your bullpen.
Well, this is where Joe might counter with give Vernon Wells in a bat, maybe David Adams.
And that's why the return of Teixeira is so important, because he adds such balance to that lineup. You can't stack a left-hander and not have him face a righty with Teixeira in there who could just turn around and hit from the other side.
And throwing Euclid the balance too, Michael.
Yep.
Love the idea for Brett Gardner there, trying to drag a bunt. If he could just get it by the pitcher, he's automatically going to win that race. It's just like hitting. It's just like pitching. Bunting takes confidence. You've got to have success during the game to get that going. No matter how much you practice, it just doesn't quite translate to the game situation. Trying to pick the right pitch to bunt on. Lefty versus lefty matchup here.
And he tries to drag bunt, pops it up over the screen.
But I'm with you, David. I think if some point in Brett Gardner's career, and I'm not even saying he's got to be as good as Brett Butler, guys that just laid bunts down just flawlessly, but if he could just create, at least for opposing teams, to just say, hey, look, this guy will bunt. You bring in the corners every time up to 2 strikes. Brett Butler, that was every day Brett Butler would work on. A guy like Juan Pierre, the Marlins.
Yankees need base runners. They're down 5, and Gardner has worked the count full. With Cano on deck. And Gardner swings and misses for the first out. Let's check out tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios, making life more entertaining with America's fastest, most reliable internet. That's powerful. Dylan G goes for the Mets, 2-6 with an over 6 ERA, and Vidal Nuno gets start for the Yankees, 1-1, 1.93. Our coverage will begin at 6 right here on Yes. First pitch right around 7:07. There's Vidal, the left-hander. One and 0 to Cano. You both spent time in the minors. Can you even fathom spending as much time with Scott Rice?
No. I'm just looking at it. The story, Scott Rice, 31 years old. You talk about the perseverance. This guy was a #1 pick by the Orioles in 1999. So thought of that highly. At a Royal High School in Simi Valley, California. Played independent ball in different leagues. Persevered, right? Lefty, left arm, will pitch and travel.
I mean, that's the kind of life, Michael. You got to get a job in the offseason.
Yeah.
You got to make ends meet, because the minor league life just doesn't afford you the opportunity to hang around during the wintertime and not collect a paycheck.
Well, here's what I don't get, guys. I mean, he's not a great pitcher, but boy, he's serviceable. He throws with his left arm. Why would it take 14 years for him to get a chance in the big leagues? Very odd. The 3-1, 3-2.
And you know what, Michael? Just looking at his bio, I was waiting to tell you that he was on the DL and Tommy John and all that. He did not. Through his years, he was on the DL for 3 weeks in 2007, and then he was playing for the Long Island Ducks.
There's LaTroy Hawkins.
He had an elbow issue and did have surgery. That was in 2008.
Popped up. David Wright for the second out. So 1 for 4 Cano today. And that will bring up Hafner.
There's so many more success stories coming out of the independent leagues. And the Long Island Ducks, what a great story that is. That franchise out there. Buddy Harrelson, former Met player and coach and manager. He's done such a great job out on Long Island with that franchise.
Count 0-1. Quickly works ahead, 0-2.
See, David Wright played shortstop, and the other three infielders all to the right of the bag. Really the impressive part about Hafner. He's not afraid when he gets down 2 strikes. We've seen him several times this year go 0-2 to 3-2. Just be able to stay patient.
Swing and a miss. That's an impressive inning for Scott Rice. 2 strikeouts. Yankees go down in order 1-2-3. We're going to the 8th inning. It's 8-3 Mets. Putting on a little bit of a show for Yankee brass, pitching very well here in a relief appearance as he gets a strike on Ike Davis. 3 shutout innings for Nova on the Hyundai scoreboard. Mets lead 8-3. They had 5 runs in the first inning and they've never looked back. Nova has retired 7 Mets in a row.
Well, there's the silver lining, perhaps. What looks like a bad game for the Yanks, down 5-zip right in the first inning. Nova's throwing some fastballs and touching 97 miles an hour, showing a good curveball as we just saw with that pitch. A little bit of a wake-up call, perhaps.
And Davis could not hold up. He gets punched out by Brian O'Nora. 1 down. MLB.TV is celebrating 11 years. Join the millions of fans and subscribe today. Watch every out-of-market game live online on your favorite mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV today. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. Yesterday's game at Citi Field drew just 31,877. That's the smallest crowd of any Subway Series game since the 2 teams began playing each other in the regular season in 1997. This obviously is a bigger crowd than the 2 at Citi Field, but not a sellout. And you hearken back to 1997, where the old place was bursting at the seams in that game that Dave Malicki shut down the Yankees, and you wonder, is there a malaise about this because now it's not so special? Swing and a miss. Baxter down on strikes.
Well, I know it's a tale of 2 different franchises, but you know the counter argument to that, over in Queens, even though it was the lowest crowd, it was still one of the best crowds they've had all year. I mean, the attendance overall has been down in Queens this year, so the fact that they got 32,000 in the ballpark when they've been averaging about 10 to 15 within context really was a pretty decent crowd.
Rain hurt yesterday a bit because it brought down any anticipated walk-up crowd. No one was going to come when it was pouring. The start of the game was delayed 91 minutes. Tejada fouls it away.
Well, across the board, attendance is down in baseball. I know here in New York, well, both respective teams' attendance is down. The Yankees are averaging 37,800 for home games. The Mets average is 26,600.
Paid attendance and actual people in the ballpark are two different things, obviously.
But what were the two leagues? Was it the National League did the turnstile, American League did the paid, or vice versa?
I think they're both the same now.
Well, now they're both the same. Yeah. Now I think they're both paid attendance.
The 0-2, swing and a miss. So Nova strikes out the side. And he has 5 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts in 4 innings. Well, the Yankees running out of time. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Here's Overbay against Scott Rice. Ground ball to second. Murphy. 1 pitch, 1 out. You're almost a little stunned as you see the Hyundai scoreboard, 8-3. The Mets were floundering before they grabbed 1 game from the Braves on Sunday night at Citi Field. And they looked like they were low-hanging fruit for the Yankees. The way the Yankees have been playing. This is absolutely stunning that the Mets are on the verge of taking 3 straight from the Yankees. It's a hard game to explain.
Well, this one's easy. I understand what you're saying, Michael. You got David Phelps who couldn't get out of the first inning. You only got 1 out. You faced one of the better young pitchers in the game, maybe potentially in the next 10 years, with Matt Harvey.
But you did what you had to do against him. Good pitcher outpitched him.
But both of these games here, Hughes along with Nice, they were snatched wins by the Mets. The 2 late runs, the 7th and 8th inning in the first game of the series. And then yesterday's game, the walk-off against the great Mariano Rivera.
Well, what makes it really shocking is that bad teams don't win snatch games. And the Mets have been a bad team this year. They've been a team that loses those games all the time. And here we have a Yankee team that came in 11 games over 500, and they lose 2 snatch games to a team like the Mets. It's a hard one to grasp.
We really expected a bounce back here at home tonight. And then within the first half hour of the game, the Yankees were behind the 8 ball. Down 5-0 as their starter was knocked out.
Bosch swings and misses. And all these lefties in a row, it sets up perfect for Scott Rice. He's retired 5 in a row, and now there's Ichiro.
You know, and Michael, this situation right here at this part of the game and with the way you've described it with all these left-handed batters just cries out for more reinforcements. Cries out it just shows the inability of Girardi to make in-game changes.
It's too easy for an opposing manager to bring in a lefty and completely shut down your hitters. You've got to have that little bit of a minefield at some point within the top of the lineup. Ichiro gets a base hit. Bird misplays the ball, backing up and Keel, and that should be a single and an E9, and that's the way it's scored.
Similar play yesterday. Here you see Ichiro, Marlon Byrd, and single by Gardner, and he flubbed the ball. Marlon Byrd did right field. Ended up the Yankees scored a run the 6th inning. Same kind of scenario, hit off the heel of his glove.
Well, that's the end of the lefties, so Terry Collins is now going to go to a right-hander as Jason Nix is due to step in. Yankees down by 5. And they're watching a game that's pretty much been all Mets from the beginning, and now former Yankee LaTroy Hawkins will come on to try to get Jason Nix in 22 games. Hawkins sporting a 3.27 ERA, and opponents hitting .314 against him.
19 seasons, LaTroy Hawkins. Been around a long time. Came up as a starter.
Jason Nix takes a strike. Nix is 2 for 3. He had a cup of coffee with the Yankees. Thought it was going to be longer, but He had the misfortune when he got here of being issued number 21, which was the first player who got Paul O'Neill's number after Paul retired. And fans didn't like it. They didn't take to him right away. He didn't understand, what he was getting into. They ended up changing his number, but really never felt comfortable here with the Yankees. He was with the Yankees in 2008. And those are all the teams, all the uniforms that he has modeled. His longest stretch, obviously, with the Twins, and he was a starter back then.
After he left the Yankees, did a great job down in Houston for a couple of years. Kind of revived his career.
Just shows you can't be messing with O'Neill's 21.
Was he the first and last to wear 21?
No, he was definitely not the first.
No, since Paul.
Yeah, he was the first. Yeah, no one's had it since.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not retired, but the Yankees see how negative a reaction it was when they gave it to somebody. Ground ball to short. Tejada makes the play, and that will do it. No runs a hit, one man left, and one error. We go to the ninth. Down of tonight's Subway Series Showdown, plus player interviews from the clubhouse, and also Joe Girardi's manager's report. Meredith Marakovitz will work the clubhouse as well. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. Nova deals a strike to Daniel Murphy. All right, so David, what have you seen from Nova that we haven't seen from him?
Well, obviously he's strong. He's well rested. As Al noted, his top velocity up in the upper 90s, 97 miles an hour. But his breaking stuff extremely sharp.
Ground ball past the diving Nix and into left field for a base hit. Murphy makes the turn. He'll stop there as Ichiro gets the ball in quickly.
It'll be just the second hit that Nova's given up here, starting his fifth inning of relief work. Good opportunity for the Yankees and Joe Girardi to stretch him out, keep him stretched out here, is why he's still out there. And of course, Daniel Murphy, Yankee killer.
Here's David Wright. David walked in that 5-run first inning, scored a run, then had an infield single to short. So he is 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored. There's a strike. Count 0-1. Colin McHugh in the Mets bullpen. With a 5-run lead, this is not a Bobby Parnell night. Count 1-1.
Probably the best part about Nova tonight, the overall command, but the thing that kind of jumps out at you, is he's going to throw his 50th pitch here. 36 of those are strikes.
Now 37. From 1 and 2.
For me, David, it's that pitch right there. I mean, the command, there's one thing at throwing strikes and balls. The command of his secondary pitch. He's had 4 days off, and last Saturday he pitched down to Tampa. Hitting velocities of 96, 97, I don't remember him doing that consistently as a starter. But to be able to throw a curveball for a called strike. Now, the expansion hitters would have to go for that if they know that you consistently can throw for a called strike. I think that's it. I think when Nova gets in trouble, like many pitchers do, they don't have a feel. He doesn't have a feel for his secondary pitch for called strikes. I mean, you think about how many guys that have really good curveballs, and Nova has a good curveball. It's to have an idea as to when you can throw it for a strike and then expand in the dirt.
Popped up right side, and Cano makes the play for the first out. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
I want to ask you, David, because you had a awesome career, and you threw 2 or 3 different type of breaking balls, angles, speeds. Did you have the ability to have your strike feel just 9 out of 10 times? It was in your back pocket. Was that, I mean, when you were right? I'm saying when you felt good.
Well, that's the difference. You know, for a starting pitcher, you have one breaking ball you can throw for a strike and one you can just miss with. And when you get caught in between those 2 release points is when you get wild in the strike zone. And that was Nova's problem last year. When you get wild in the strike zone with all your pitches, you start giving up extra base hits, and that was his problem. A lot of doubles, a lot of gappers, and home runs. Among the league leaders in extra base hits given up last year was Ivan Nova.
Duda pops one up. Shallow left, long run for Ichiro. He'll make the play for the second out.
That's when you get caught in between. You get caught in between your release point, and you end up overthrowing some breaking balls and leaving them up out over the plate, and damage gets done.
I know my troubles, and there was many, but my side days were, how can I get the feel, or what is that feel for strike? Mine was a cutter, slider kind of thing. When I knew I needed to throw it for a called strike, what was that feel? What was the effort? Was it 80%? Was it 90%? Where did I release it? Where did it start? Where did it finish? I mean, all of that. And that was all side work to be able to consistently know that I could go to that. I think if hitters could know that you got your secondary pitch you could throw for strikes, now they got to look for 2 pitches.
John Buck takes a pitch inside, 1-0.
And you had 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. How many pitches you have?
Well, you know, it's the pitches were more to try to finish guys off. But you're right about, you know, the strike secondary pitches.
Right through the right side, no one there as the Yankees had the shift on for Buck. He took advantage of that. Moving to third is Murphy. So Buck picks up his second hit of the night. First and third now, 2 outs. That was a shift base hit. Sometimes it backfires.
Yeah, and that's been Buck's approach. You know, we noted that he had been struggling coming into this series, and twice tonight he's taken pitches the other way. It really burned Phelps in the first inning when he was trying to stay away from Buck. He shot that single to right to kind of set up that first inning barrage. Ended up 5 runs in the first for the Mets, and they've never looked back.
Here's Rick Ankiel. Foul straight back here. Put down 0-1.
Sort of finished the point on Nova. He's been outstanding tonight. It's a great sign for the Yankees. Those are great numbers. His pitch count's under control. They've got him stretched back out where they need him to be. So he is now a viable option to go back into the rotation if needed at this point.
Line drive, a base hit to left field for Ankiel. Murphy scores, stopping at second is Buck, an RBI for Ankiel, and it's 9-3 Mets.
Well, some CNI singles is part of the game. Daniel Murphy led off the inning, just poking a base hit down the third base line. Gets jammed there, Rick Ankiel. See a little kind of alligator arm, just pushes it out there to left field. A little tack-on run for the Mets, now 9-3.
It's a good low fastball hitter. As you see, Nova knows he wanted to get that pitch up. As Chris Stewart wanted it up, and we've seen Ankiel swing through so many high fastballs already this series.
Here's Marlon Byrd, and he grounds one to third. Nix has to eat it. It's a base hit for Byrd. Bases loaded.
No rhyme or reason sometime to this game. Nova makes a good pitch down and in. Hits it off the bunting circle. Marlon Byrd on his horse. Jason Nix sees where Byrd is, puts it in his pocket. It's a knock.
So now you don't want to undo all the good you did by giving up a big blow here to Ike Davis. So this is an important batter for the psyche of Ivan Nova. Davis 2 for 4. Had a big 2-run single in the first inning. His big league stay was hanging in the balance on this game. So this was just not a game on May 29th, a Wednesday, that is just 1 of 162. He knew the ramifications of a bad game. He was probably going to Las Vegas.
Puts in a 2-for-4 night. Based on what you said, I guess he'll be here tomorrow.
Ground ball to first. Overbay flips to Nova, and that will do it. Strong 5 innings for Ivan Nova. He allowed just 1 run. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Do the Yankees have a rally in their bones? All right, so the Yankees are down to their final 3 outs as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. LaTroy Hawkins got the final out of the 8th. And now looking for the final 3 outs of the game. And here's Reed Brignac. You always hear the old cliche, this game, it's a matter of inches. If Brignac's ball in the 2nd inning goes out, all of a sudden you're looking at 5-3. I think the way that the game is managed is different. The whole feel is different. I think that Jeremy Hefner feels different, but it didn't go out. He just missed it. Brignac is 0 for 3. And he also hit a scalding line drive to Marlon Byrd in the 6th. So he's hit the ball well twice, but nothing to show for it.
That was an important one as well. The Yankees ended up scoring 2 runs in that inning. That might have set up a big inning in the 6th as well.
Brignac with a high pop-up left side. Long run for Baxter. And the kid from Archbishop Malloy puts it away for the first out. And let's see if Tejada is okay.
Well, Tejada went a long way. I mean, you know, see that little triangle a little bit closer to third base. Sliding, trying to check up, let Baxter make the catch. He almost got in the way.
Well, you got to love the hustle from Tejada, but there's been a couple of times tonight, as you see again, he had a chance to pull up there. He saw Baxter. It's sort of a what they call in basketball court awareness. That, you know, that was a little bit unnecessary there. We saw earlier on a ground ball where he got caught looking to third when he should have taken the out to first. And certainly a very, very talented young shortstop, but some questionable court awareness tonight, or field awareness, if you will.
David Adams going to pinch hit for Chris Stewart. Stewart was 0 for 3. And the count 0-1. Tomorrow, Dylan G against Vidal Nuno. Adams grounds 1 to Tejada. And the Yankees are down to their final out.
We're going to come out and check Tejada. I mean, that slide, he did not look good making that last play. They're going to have to check him. I'm not sure on that slide what he hurt, his knee, or looks like trying to stretch it out. I mean, it's just guesswork here on what's bothering him. You could see here as he, of course, right after that slide has to come in and make a play, and he's kind of gimping right there. And you could see the grimace on his face.
Well, they're going to take him out of the game. And not that there's any nefarious plot on the part of Ruben Tejada, but a trip to the DL in New York is preferable to a trip to Las Vegas, which had been threatened by the way he's playing. He is walking gingerly down those steps. So Justin Turner will take over at short.
Although a DL in New York is actually a DL in Port St. Lucie.
But it's still big league money.
Full benefits.
Yeah. And here's Brett Gardner. Count 1-0. The whole threatening to send them down. I mean, okay, so Ike Davis got 2 hits today. Does that get him a reprieve from the governor? I mean, does it give him 3 games? Does it just have tomorrow? Does he have to get 2 hits a game? It seems so silly and arbitrary. He's either here or he's not. He's hoping that he's here with his 2 hits and 2 ribbies. It's about the time last year when he started to pick it up. 2-0 to Gardner. Gardner's 0 for 4, so his 5-game hitting streak is on the line. It's amazing right there, out of view. We've seen him in blowouts. If the former mayor of New York, Rudy Giuliani, comes to a game, he stays till the last out.
Right there.
Doesn't matter if it's a blowout. Doesn't matter if it's a 4-hour game. Doesn't matter if there's a rain delay. We have seen him be one of the last people in the park.
And one of the first. He was here early.
Yep.
During the Yankee batting practice.
The 2-2. 3-2. Paul Simon's still here. Foul back. Jimmy Fallon, the next host of the Tonight Show, in the front row.
Right next to Lorne Michaels.
Three-two. Jimmy Fallon had a big birthday party for his wife in the Hamptons. I read that in page 6 today. A lot of famous people there.
It's a pretty good little section right there. Okay, so you got Lorne Michaels next to Jimmy Fallon, who's next to
Rudy Giuliani.
Well, Rudy's behind him, and Paul Simon's next to him. How about that? What's that little trick?
Living up to the term legend seats. Fly ball right field. It's going to dunk in for a base hit. So Gardner extends his hitting streak to 6 straight. And keeps this alive. Here's Robinson Cano. Cano 1 for 4. Mets are leading 9-3, but they only lead the Yankees in hits 12-11. As Gardner takes off for second, and he'll make it there on defensive indifference. And the first pitch to Cano was a strike. Breaking ball. Count 1-1 as Buck goes out and toss with Hawkins.
Complete cross up there with Gardner on second base. Anytime you see a catcher kind of raise up like that, go back down, watch this. This means you think something else is coming. Whoa! Let me go talk to you. Hey, wait a minute. 1's a fastball, 2's a curveball, multiple signs, roll them over. Must be a scary feeling for a catcher. About halfway there, the ball's doing something different than what you think it's going to do.
1-1. 2-1. Hawkins still throws hard. Been around the game a long time. 94 miles an hour.
Actually did that to Rick Cerrone. The former Yankee catcher was catching for the Mets, and he called for a curveball. I threw a fastball. I hit him right in the chest. Knocked the wind out of him in Wrigley Field one day. He's still mad at me.
He does hold a grudge, too. That one is looped into shallow right field. That is going to be in there for a base hit. Gardner scores. And now the Mets lead is 9-4, an RBI single for Cano.
Tell that to LaTroy Hawkins. Defensive indifference. Don't protect about a guy that walked to second base. Now here a little blooper. LaTroy Hawkins. If earned runs don't matter, or ERA does matter, this is an earned run because of defensive indifference.
Good pitch. Ties up Cano. Little jam shot. Well, we're going to take that earned run with you.
It's a dumb rule, Michael.
Bobby Parnell up in case it becomes a save situation. What's dumb? The defensive indifference? Now, here's a question. Yankees obviously need base runners. They need to really rally with 2 outs. The whole left side of the infield's open. Why wouldn't Hafner just take the hit and get on base?
I mean, how many years did we see with Jason Giambi just not capable of doing that? I don't think certain guys, their swing is what it is. Just can't hit the ball the other way unless it's a broken bat or an excuse me swing.
Al? Cano moves to second on defensive.
Well, now here, so now potentially.
But whose fault is that? I mean, do you want to give guys free stolen bases?
Yeah. Why penalize a runner for not, because you decide not to defend against me? I could walk to second. I don't get a stolen base. Now there'd be a potential bloop or whatever happens, a run score, because your manager decides, and I get it, you know, it's 9-4. And here's another earned run.
It would still be an earned run even if it was scored a stolen base.
No, but you defend against it.
Nobody guarding third. He can take third.
There he goes. Oh, no, he's getting his third base here.
Nobody home. And Mets obviously don't care. They can start walking right now and make it. And wave.
There he goes. And there's a strike for Travis Hafner.
The Mets don't care about that base runner, Robinson Cano. They care about trying to get the third out.
Doesn't Dan Warthen look like he could work in the offices of Mad Men with those glasses? Old-time 1960 type glasses?
I like the fact that, you know, he's a good pitching coach. I actually had him back when I made a comeback with the Mets in 03 in the minor leagues. Good pitching coach, kind of a baseball lifer. I like the fact he leaves him on when he goes to the mound. He doesn't try to hide it. This is what I got. See, a lot of pitching coaches will try to hide those glasses, you know, when they have to go to the mound.
Or Stan Waves. Remember Stan? He had the little chain. Take him off. Put him on his chest.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yankees down 9-4, bottom of the 9th. Runner at third. The 2-2. Popped up. It is a long run for everyone. And it falls untouched. Wow, the closest one was Hawkins. He went after that. Doesn't want to give up another run. Wow. And then you almost get David Wright hurt.
You said it. I mean, that's a long way. And that's probably what he's sharing with David Wright right now. Watch LaTroy sprinting. He's closer to David Wright is to the ball. He said, I'm going to get this.
Now, you never move like that, am I right?
Not a chance. The umpire borderline this way, and David Wright looks fine.
David, you made a great catch, like not that far, but you hurt yourself on a catch like that.
Well, it was a bunt. It was about 3 feet to the right of the mound, and I ended up falling on my left shoulder and separating it, or dislocating it, actually. Hawkins was booking.
Yeah.
He's got some speed. About 40 yards. I think I got him about 4.7 in the 40-yard dash, trying to get there.
2-2. Swing and a miss, and that will do it. It was all Mets tonight here at the stadium as the Yankees lose this one 9-4. Jeremy Hefner picks up his first win of the season. The Mets have won now 4 in a row, and the Yankees, for the first time this year, have lost 4 in a row. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's tonight's Chevy player of the game. 5 runs in the first inning for the Mets, and they never look back. They beat the Yankees 9-4. We'll be back and give out some awards.